everybody. Welcome to another episode of Sass the Beard, special Thanksgiving episode. You know, Thanksgiving is tomorrow. We're all going to be hanging out with family. Maybe some of you are even doing that tonight or, you know, after you've watched this. And so, you know, if you are able to watch before, maybe we can help you get out some of those frustrations and things.
Make it a great Thanksgiving and watch this with your whole family.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then talk about politics with them and see how it goes.
But see, maybe if you talk about local politics, it won't be as
It's true. It's true.
Because everybody can agree that we should pave the streets, right?
Right. And totally everybody agrees about whether or not we should have a kid.
Absolutely. We do want to thank Retro Rose and Dog Ear Books for sponsoring our show. We love the folks at both of those places. And also we have the Golden Ass Award this week, and we will get to who is going to be receiving that.
And that's sponsored by Plant Parlor.
And yes. But so in lieu of Thanksgiving, Chris and I thought that this week we would kind of talk about things that we are thankful for, but this being our show, like obviously we're thankful for our families and for all of that stuff. But I wanted to talk about what we were thankful for politically in whether it's our area or the state or nationally, however we, see that.
Okay, do you want me to go first?
Yeah,
go
for it.
Great, yeah. No, so I think politically I am thankful for candidate filing being closed. It was really exciting to see more contested races happening at the state level across the state. I think that's good for democracy.
Yeah.
Whatever side you're on, you know what I mean? You can root for your candidate to win, but just like having competition is good.
Yes.
And so that is one thing I'm thankful for. Otherwise, I think I'm very thankful for the entertainment district.
Yeah.
Yes, because up until a few minutes ago.
Especially before the show.
Right. Yeah. Up until a few minutes ago, I had a gin and tonic that I could walk around with, and so that was nice. I'm very thankful for that. Yeah. So what about you? What are you thankful for politically?
To kind of add on, like with the the city council in Russellville, not just the fact that I'm on it, like obviously I feel good about that, but the people that I get to work with within that space, even you got the mayor and the city council, I think like we're all working together to make decisions that are genuinely good for the community as a whole, not just for like this group of people or that group of people. And I know we talk about this a lot on the show, but like I don't know that it's always been that way, because you have so many different I guess points of view about issues, and I feel like even though there are still different points of view in this group, we can at least come to some sort of working compromises and figure out what's truly best for everybody.
Yeah.
And I feel good about that,
Yeah, it is great. And, we're going to talk about this later in the show, but like, even though everybody is sort of like-minded in some ways, like there are still issues you come to and you don't agree on. Like there was one where you were the only holdout really on an issue, and we're going to talk about later, but I'm proud of you for not negotiating with
Thank you.
So I'm thankful for that as well.
And I think that it's one of those situations where even though we have different points of view, like the same goal can be achieved through, the different decisions.
Totally.
Yeah. So, speaking of like the cities and different decisions, we have seen locally, like Christmas is a big deal coming up. Russellville has a huge Christmas parade.
I wore my favorite Christmas shirt today. It's my favorite
Merry
Christmas
and
shirt.
bright.
If anybody hasn't been offended by our show before, welcome.
I don't know that anyone watching this, that I'm sure they all understand they could be offended by watching our show.
Yes.
Like surely somebody at this point after 6 or 7 years.
If you're not offended, we're not having fun.
Wonder what this is about, you know?
For sure.
So in Dardanelle, they've had a Christmas parade for a long time. It's kind of been like this day is Russellville, this day is Dardanelle, back and forth. So it's big for our community. Parades are still a big thing. However, in Dardanelle, we are or are not having a parade.
Who knows, right? Who knows? So this has been so funny. Okay, so legitimate issue. The Dardanelle Christmas Parade has always been where like the bridge from Polk County into Yale County over the Arkansas River ends up kind of getting shut down. People end up sitting on the bridge for quite a while.
Yeah.
And so that was not allowed anymore. We can't shut the bridge
the
down
state was
in
like,
Dardanelle.
don't do that anymore.
Yeah, because I don't know if anybody saw what happened with the bridge from West Memphis to Memphis. We ain't trying to do that in Dardanelle.
Or even if like some emergency issue where people had to be taken to the hospital.
Right.
You know,
all kinds of reasons. Yeah. And so it's honestly surprising it's taken this long. But what was hilarious about this is like, okay, so apparently the parade has always been handled by the Chamber of Commerce in Dardanelle. So the Chamber of Commerce came out and said, yo, we're not going to have it this year. Because of the bridge issue, like we're just going to have to cancel it.
Yeah.
And then like Mayor Jimmy Witt, Dardanelle, and some city council members come out like,
but what if we don't cancel it?
But like parade is on. Except I think he posted, we're having and that was it. Yeah. Like he just, I don't know what happened, but there was like
he hit enter before he was done.
Before he said the parade. People are like the what? The parade. But so the city is trying to continue to have the parade over there. The city council and mayor's office, they're trying to like make the parade happen.
Yes.
And they're like have a different route. It's gonna go.
I've seen a couple of different proposed routes.
It's gonna basically just like cruise for a couple hours.
just the
whole
street.
The whole town. just wherever you're at.
Like when we were teenagers and there was no internet.
And cruising was the thing. Yes, that's what they're gonna do with the parade. It's just gonna be like a loop.
Yeah.
But anyways, people have been like super confused because it's like, is it happening? Is it not happening? Is it who knows?
Yeah.
But apparently it is happening. It's just the city is putting it on, and the city and the chamber did not coordinate their press releases.
So
at all.
Like it was just like chamber was like, we're not doing it, and the city was like, the F we aren't. And then so now the city's taking it over, and
nobody thought to tell the public this is just a change in ownership rather than a cancel restart.
Because I've seen several of the on social media, the city council members from Dardanelle post like, hey, here's the proposal, and then I've seen like comments after comments after comments, just like angry about why we had to change it, why can't we do it the same way, and like this is really where information spreading and communication is important. Like you have this is what we're going to do. And it comes, whether it's from the top or whether it's, some group has to create the narrative. Otherwise, the narrative gets made up by everybody.
Yeah. It's nice, though, when the two groups talk to each other. You know what I mean? But let me tell you, one thing that is staying absolutely the same for the Russellville Christmas Parade and the Dardanelle Christmas Parade is you will not see me at either.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I will be home. That is the thing that is exactly the same as I will not be there.
I feel like the same is going to be said for you about the eclipse. Like
oh, yeah,
totally. There's going to be way more people.
I'll be like, I will be home. Watching it online.
You're not even gonna like come to my house for Airbnb, and you'll go to Fayetteville or something.
For real, exactly. Yeah.
So there will be a Dardanelle Christmas parade.
I guess so.
Yes, if that clears it up at any level. But another nice festive thing, like our show is pretty much just about the holiday season.
It was really like we were writing it all out, and I was loving. It's like very holiday centric, which I'm here for. I love the holidays so much. I've had my tree up since November 2nd. Don't judge me. And I see it
like 2 days after Halloween. You were like, I'm getting it up,
and it was a day late, so I don't want to hear it. But I did see on Veterans Day, because my Christmas tree was already up at that point. I was ready for the holidays.
Right.
But I did see on the Pope County Courthouse that they had red, white, and blue lights up for Veterans Day, which gave us kind of a preview of the new Christmas lights for downtown.
That's exciting. Yeah, I saw them too, and I know that people were very concerned about the price of that, of that purchase. And I feel like it's money well spent.
Listen, that was less than 2 podiums. Yep. And so now we measure everything in Arkansas politics and the cost of a podium. So $19,000 is 1 podium. If it's 2 podiums, I mean, I feel like...
But how many Yukon Denali's was it?
Half a Yukon Denali, yeah. That's our measurements now, is how many podiums or Yukon Denali's.
Right, yeah. So, we have... Christmas lights and speaking about the Russellville School District, every year, like as you work a job and you do well in your job, you tend to expect a bonus for that work. Not like not like expect. Like,
not
if they don't
expect.
give this to me, I'm going to be mad. But like you've gotten one every year. And
yeah,
so,
well,
like,
and it's the holidays.
Yeah.
Like people are trying to do for their families. They're trying to buy Christmas presents or whatever holiday you celebrate. Like, yeah, people are into it, and so a lot of folks expect to receive a holiday bonus or
Right.
an end of year bonus.
Yes.
How's that working out for?
Well,
you've got a teacher in your household. Like, how's that going?
we are not expecting a holiday bonus this year, and I don't just mean just because I'm doing this show and they're not going to give one.
Oh, that's what happened. Okay, now we know.
The retaliatory no Christmas bonus
For anybody. Nobody gets one. It's all Nathan's fault.
No, but we know whose fault it might be.
Whose fault might it be?
Well, it's definitely tied in with the LEARNS Act, I think.
I feel like this lack of funding to public schools could somehow be reflected in a lack of Christmas bonuses.
Yeah,
So, like,
yeah.
Merry Christmas, thanks, Breanne Davis.
Right. Do we, like, so when the gas prices were extremely high, I would go, and you would see a little sticker of Joe Biden pointing with, I did that.
Yeah.
You know, do we need to create stickers for RSD to hand out to send
To all the
letters to
teachers,
employees?
that say I
No
did that.
Christmas
We could just
bonus.
have like a picture of Breanne and Sarah together.
Like, that's a propaganda sometimes works, you know?
Yes, but only if it's the right kind of propaganda, apparently. Other types we can't be doing. Only if it's our chosen propaganda,
Right.
depending on which side you're on.
And
really.
I mean, like, traditionally the left has been terrible at propaganda, so.
Oh yeah, ours is weak. We go with it. It's just like it's like 300 pages of research. We're like, here's our propaganda.
Here's all of the information.
And
you
everybody's
need.
like, no one
I don't.
cares.
Is there a Cliff Notes version or
No,
for them?
absolutely not. Hard pass on that.
Well, but for Christmas and Thanksgiving, we can both be thankful for a nice place to live. Like we
Yes.
have a roof over our heads,
So grateful.
warm air. You know, when the cold weather comes. But there are some people living within the city that don't have the same. And the city has done a very good job, I think, of trying to really kind of crack down on what we typically call like slumlords, and people that have taken advantage of the very lax rules in the state for property owners to take care of their renters. But they have given cities some leeway how to manage those issues.
Very tiny
Yes.
bit of leeway.
Yes, and like through code enforcement and those kind of things. And I think the city of Russellville has started to do a better job. And
As a direct result of the election that changed over who is making those decisions.
agreed.
Yeah.
Like this current city council, I feel, is really trying to encourage code enforcement to step up their game and really get after people. Because like these are citizens of our city. And yes, property owners are also citizens of our city, but they already own the property. Like, you know, like the renters have no recourse. They can't file any kind of claims. They can't do anything.
Well, it's the same concept as if, you know, you have a business downtown.
Yeah.
If your canopy was all trashed,
Yes.
there's code enforcement to say,
Absolutely.
hey, this doesn't reflect
We're a historic district
standards of our
downtown. This
community,
is
right?
the standard, yeah.
And a rental property is a business,
Yes.
right? And so it's held to standards like a business is.
Right.
Which, I mean, you know, people have their standards in your like home if you own the home and you
Right.
live there. But if it's a business, then that matters as well. Like, you know, you couldn't put a manufacturing business right downtown because that wouldn't fit in with the plan for the city.
Right.
And so this is the same issue you've kind of been dealing with
Right.
on the city council of, you know, is a home that is not up to code, that is by a lot of counts dilapidated, is in bad shape. Is it allowed to be 8 apartments?
Right.
Or does it have to fall back to previous zoning that says it's only allowed to have 4 apartments?
Right.
So this has been an ongoing issue.
Yeah, so in 2020, there was an issue with a particular landlord who had 8 individuals living in an area where it was not zoned for that. And then, so the city was like, hey, you can't do that. And he appealed for rezoning. And the city said no, because we're not going to spot zone your area. And he had just assumed that he could get grandfathered into a specific zone. And because he had existed as this for a while, because other councils had
Right.
not been like, hey, you know. So then he took the city to court, and lost.
Lost because it wasn't proper venue, like it wasn't proper process.
Right. He should have went through a different step.
Yeah, he should have gone through appeals with the city rather than going straight to court. That was just really, it wasn't on the merits of the issue. It was about just venue.
Right. And so then his attorney suggested to the city attorney, well, there is precedent because in the past this has existed as a fourplex. And if we go back to that, will the city compromise? And personally, I'm not in favor of that. Like, this is what zone it is. This is what zone you have to exist under. However, the city attorney made a good point that said if we do compromise, then we can really be serious about code enforcement. Right. Because until we settle this issue, code enforcement really has no bearing.
Right.
Because nobody's
and that makes, yeah, that makes sense in the like legal scheme of it of like, you know, you can't pass like as a council, you can't pass what they call ex post facto law where it's retroactive, right? So like if somebody is there and they're already under this requirement, then you can't like go, well, no, we changed our minds. Right. And nobody would want that. Like you wouldn't want that for your home. You wouldn't want that in your business. Right. And so that's totally fair.
We want to be fair.
Right.
But yeah.
But you can't actually really do the enforcement of the code issues until this like zoning issue is settled.
Absolutely.
Right. So you guys ended up settling on allowing a fourplex.
Yeah, because of the specific zoning it was in, it wasn't allowed, but because he had history in it existing in that zoning, we have allowed it. So we made a, what is it, where you
a variance
or
whatever.
Yeah, basically we haven't voted on it yet. We just, we will probably have to vote on a variance for him to exist under this.
So what if like a whole bunch of people came to city council and were like, we don't want this variance. We don't want you to allow a fourplex here. We want to say vote it down anyway or whatever, or whichever side. But just because this is an ongoing issue that a lot of people in Russellville are familiar with and a lot of people who follow our show care about these like slumlord issues.
Right.
So this is kind of one of those areas where individuals could have some influence because it hasn't been voted on yet.
Yes.
It's just likely what's going to happen based on like the logic of the issue and where it's going.
Right. And because we will have to have some official vote to communicate the city's, will in this situation. I mean, here's the deal. There is precedent for him to exist as such, as he has stated, which means that he could take us to court through the right way instead of the wrong way. And then the city would have to spend money on the court. So you have to have people that are willing to do that. I am one of those people that would say, yeah, let's...
Because, I think that there could be an argument made that he didn't file the appropriate paperwork to maintain that fourplex, like zoning
for
variance.
Long periods of
time, right. But... I can see both sides.
There is an argument that could be made that either side could win or lose. And so if the city went to a long, arduous 2 to 3 year court battle and ended up losing, then he would, we would still be where we're at.
Or you could win.
But if we win, then there's...
Let me tell you what I don't like, though, is when people on the council just decide not to vote on an issue.
Shut up. I didn't not vote, okay? I just didn't say yay or nay.
Wait, what? Wait.
Which in effect is a yes. You know what I'm saying? Like.
So you could have voted no.
Right. Yes. So the point is.
I'm sorry, y'all. I have to drag.
It was gonna pass. Like everybody was gonna vote so that we could get to the code enforcement point. So for me, it was just like I'm showing my ass and I don't want to vote, because I'm mad about this, and because I am I am angry.
Okay, wait, but I'm confused though, because the vote hasn't happened yet, or it has happened
to discuss with.
Okay, this is just the vote to discuss with.
There was no do we give them this thing? There was we need to talk to their lawyers.
Okay.
So yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So y'all voted to negotiate with terrorists. That's our joke. I don't really mean that he's a terrorist. I could probably be liable for that. I don't really mean that. That's
No,
just a joke.
there is no terrorism. There is only, legal rigmarole and
Legal, like, abuse of tenants.
Well, but that's the frustration that I have, is that there are people that have been living under these situations that are suffering, and like this person has plenty of money that he could spend to fix the places and not have them live in those places. And it's just
yeah, like the city has to walk the line of like, how do you, because you can't make rules that aren't for all businesses, right? Like the rules you make apply to everybody.
Yes.
And so you have to apply that fairly, but also how do you not support someone like profiting off of human misery, right?
Yeah. So I don't want to be seen as doing that.
Right. I know. And I know you don't.
Yeah.
And I'm just talking shit about you not voting because I can. But this is one of those issues. It's part of the reason, like when you ran for office, we talked so much about like how these local elections matter so much, is because if you don't have people in office like you, like the people who are there now and are willing to push back and say like, wait, we have to balance this issue. Yeah. Then, that's how we end up here, is that when this started with him years and years ago with this particular landlord, it was allowed, and it was allowed. Yes. And it was tolerated because of the people who were in office at that time.
Right. And it didn't, not that they were cruel, it just, they didn't care.
Well, yeah. And like, and it just, for whatever reason, I mean, it's complicated. Like, it doesn't make people who tolerated it a bad person, but like, those things build up over time and set a precedent that then allows this situation to get to where it has, where you have people who are living in very unsafe conditions, people who have died because of their living conditions. You have code enforcement and fire department and police department. You have people going into these residences that are not safe for them as well. And so, yeah, I mean, it is a serious issue, and I'm glad you guys are handling it.
And this doesn't impede us from doing that.
No.
It actually, the way it was explained to us at the meeting, it actually gives us a way to go forward. So I'm cool with that.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, other things that happened in the last week or so, the candidate filing.
I'm excited for that.
We referenced it earlier on, but I'm very excited. So here locally, Matt Duffield, our state rep, for Russellville, he has an opponent, a Democrat opponent. Senator Breanne Davis also has a Democrat opponent. Representative Aaron Pilkington, who's out at Clarksville, but covers a portion of Pope County, including like London area, and then almost all of Johnson County. He drew an opponent, someone who I just absolutely adore. Her name is Whitney Freeman. She's a woman from Clarksville, and she's running against Representative Pilkington. She's running as a Democrat. Now, I think our state rep up towards Dover, Stan Berry, he did not draw an opponent, so he'll be unopposed on the ballot. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else really here super local for folks. If you've been around following politics for a while, or you're from the Conway area, we recently saw that former state senator Jason Rapert was appointed to the Arkansas Library Commission.
Oh, that's fun.
Because isn't that lovely? The man who waged a war against PBS. Against PBS.
And every other publicly.
Yes. Is now going to be deciding, if you would prefer to give up your right to decide what books your family can read, then I think you'll probably be very excited about this. But if you'd like to retain your rights about deciding what's appropriate to read for you and your family and your kids, then this might not be a great thing.
Right. Yes. Because I care about what my kids read.
And you don't want the government to tell you?
No, not at all.
Oh.
I don't want the government to tell me.
I thought that was small government.
That's what I thought.
Right?
Aren't they for...
It's like telling me what I can read.
Small government? Aren't they for small
Sure, totally. Okay, so anyways.
I'm confused. Are they or are they not?
I think that particular catchphrase may have gone out the window a little bit. A little bit.
Wait, are we for small government now? How is it flipped?
Is that the radical left now?
Yeah,
is it me? Am I the problem?
Am I the problem? I'm sure many people would agree that we are definitely
indeed the problem.
Yeah. So let's end the show on something fun.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, there's an upcoming event locally called the Holiday Glow.
I'm so excited.
Yes. And it is basically like Art Walk, but with Christmas.
Like, what could be better? Art Walk and Christmas and Entertainment District all together.
Yes.
Look,
Yeah.
I won't be at the parade, but I will be at the Holiday Glow. And let me tell you the difference. I can walk around with a drink at Holiday Glow. If I walk around with a drink at the Christmas parade, suddenly people are judging me.
You can walk around.
What is that?
You can walk around.
Shut up.
With a drink at the
Don't
Christmas
tell him.
parade?
Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
So I'm looking for the date of the Holiday Glow event because it's not the first Friday.
Oh, it's not?
No, they do it differently.
Because the first Friday is the Christmas parade in Dardanelle, right?
Yes.
Like, and so it's a different day.
Yes.
While you're looking for that, the first Thursday is the Russellville Christmas parade, right? And that is typically the night of the quorum court meeting, the first Thursday. Every year they reschedule that. I usually they just push it out a week because of the parade. So if you typically attend the Polk County Quorum Court or watch it online, you should expect it to be delayed just a bit. Nathan, if you don't figure out when the Holiday Glow is, we're about to have to wrap it up anyway.
I don't know. Hold on.
We'll post it.
Wait. Friday, December 1st. It is December 1st.
That's coming up quick. Well, that's... Okay, but then I think
That's
the
the
Christmas
first Friday.
parade is the
Is the
following
next Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Like So...
Yep. December 1st, 6 to 9 p.m.
I'm
Holiday
so
Glow.
excited.
Yeah.
I love it.
Gonna be
I was
fun.
in Fayetteville this last weekend, and I went to this little bar called Pinpoint. It's like a pinball bar downstairs.
It's a fun place.
It's really cool. And then you walk in, and oh my god, they had it so done up for Christmas. Like, I was not prepared. I didn't expect it yet. It was heaven. I am such a Christmas dork. Like, I'm here for it. Yeah.
20 some odd years in retail at Christmas.
It's just like punishment.
I love the thoughts behind like giving gifts and like family. But if I have to hear All I Want for Christmas every day for the next 2 months, I'm
What,
good.
you mean you're not playing Santa Baby all day?
We play Christmas music and watch Christmas movies inside Joshua's. So come in for Christmas
That brings
spirit.
me joy.
Christmas trees. We might even have hot chocolate. Actually, at Holiday Glow,
Y'all
at
will have
Joshua's Fine
everything.
Jewelry, it is a Cajun Christmas. We will be having jambalaya and all of the good Cajun foods at Joshua's.
If you guys are not coming downtown to eat at Joshua's during First Fridays, I don't even know what you're doing with your life because it's a whole free meal.
It's some good
like you
stuff.
just roll in for a whole buffet.
Yeah, you don't have to purchase anything.
No, but there's beautiful jewelry while you wait.
And
so.
art. We're gonna have a guy that makes his own, like hand makes wooden jewelry boxes. They're awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be promoting them if I didn't think they were awesome. So
Sometime we need to be set up downtown during an art walk and just like do the man on the street like interviews with
I
people.
wish I could.
I would
I'm
love
so
to. I know
busy.
you always have
should
to
do
work,
it.
but I should be set
Yeah.
up there in that little like cubby outside of your store.
What'd you think about the food?
What do you think about food and what do you think about politics?
People be like, don't ask. Who gets the golden ass this week?
I'm gonna say probably Senator Davis for the impact on Russellville School District.
You're having a really hard time with it, too.
It really upsets me. Like, I hate to do it, but also like we've gotten so many messages about educators not getting a holiday bonus this year, and like the argument was like, oh well, you got a raise, but a raise isn't a bonus. The raise was just to get you to the baseline.
Well, and not just educators, but support staff.
Well,
and,
they're
like,
all, I say
yeah.
educators because they're not all teachers, right? Like,
got you.
Everybody who's there is part of the education staff,
Okay,
right? Like
awesome.
everybody. So
Yeah.
that's Senator Elliott taught me that educators includes everybody, versus
She's a smart lady.
teachers. Yeah, she is. And so
She should run for governor. You could tell her I said that.
she's 72. Let's let the woman have a retirement.
Okay,
please.
she's about the only septuagenarian that I would be approving
But also I
for.
would like her
Yeah.
to retire, to like
Sure.
actually
Yeah,
relax
you gotta
someday.
retire. Yeah.
But so anyways, Golden Ass I think goes to Senator Davis this week for the first time ever.
You heard it here.
Because
You know, you can't win them all, I guess.
like Learns kind of screwed people over.
Yeah. Holiday Glow, December 1st, Friday. Thank you guys so much for watching our show. Please share this video with your friends and let them know everything going on. Happy Thanksgiving and holiday season to you, and we'll see y'all next week.